Hello, friends. What if the moments in your life that felt like bad luck, missed opportunities, unexpected delays, and sudden changes were not setbacks, but divine protection in action? What if God has been silently protecting you from dangers you never even saw, from paths that could have harmed your soul, from people who could have destroyed your peace, and from outcomes that could have broken your destiny? Paramahansa Yogananda taught that God's protection is often invisible, quiet, and misunderstood. Sometimes it feels like rejection. Sometimes it feels like loss. Sometimes it feels like confusion. But in truth, it may be divine intervention. If you've ever felt mysteriously guided, saved from harm, or protected during dark times, this message may reveal that God has been watching over you far more than you realize. Stay until the end, because the final sign may confirm that divine forces have been shielding your life. Before we begin, if you seek divine wisdom, spiritual protection, and powerful soul awakening teachings, subscribe to Divya Antar. This channel exists to strengthen your faith, protect your spirit, and guide you toward higher consciousness. Comment below. God is protecting me. If this message resonates, like this video, share it with someone who needs reassurance, and help us spread divine light across the world. Now, let us explore the sacred signs that God may be protecting you from harm. Sign 1. Doors closed that would have led to harm. Have you ever experienced a situation where something you wanted deeply did not work out? A job opportunity that disappeared, a relationship that ended suddenly, a plan that collapsed at the last moment. At the time, it feels painful. It feels unfair. It feels like failure. But later, you realize that those closed doors may have saved you from emotional pain, spiritual damage, or life-altering mistakes. Yogananda taught that divine intelligence often removes us from paths our limited human mind cannot yet understand. What looks like rejection may actually be redirection. What feels like loss may actually be protection. Sometimes God breaks a plan because that plan would have broken you. Sometimes God closes a door because behind it was a lesson you were not meant to suffer. And when you look back, you realize you were not being denied. You were being shielded. Sign 2. You feel strong intuition or inner warnings. Have you ever felt a sudden inner voice telling you to stop, to wait, to walk away, or to avoid a certain situation? That quiet feeling is not random. It is often divine guidance. God frequently communicates through intuition, inner knowing, and subtle spiritual nudges. You may feel an unexplained discomfort about a person, a sudden hesitation about a decision, a strong sense that something is not right. When you listen to that guidance, you may avoid danger without ever realizing what could have happened. That inner warning is not fear. It is divine protection. It is God whispering to your spirit, not this path, not this moment, not this person. And those who learn to trust that sacred inner voice often find themselves mysteriously protected from harm. Sign 3. You experience unexplained escapes or close calls. Many people look back on their lives and remember moments when something could have gone terribly wrong, but didn't. A near accident, a delayed event, a last-minute change of plans, a situation that almost turned dangerous. You may have thought that could have ended badly, but somehow it didn't. These moments are often signs that divine intervention altered the outcome. You may not see angels. You may not witness miracles, but unseen protection may have quietly shifted events in your favor. God's protection does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it is silent, precise, and perfectly timed. Sometimes harm is removed before you even realize you were in danger. And later, you recognize that something greater was guarding you. Sign 4. Harmful people are removed from your life. Not every loss is a punishment. Sometimes people leave your life because God knows their presence could have damaged your peace, your future, or your spiritual growth. A friendship may fade. A relationship may end. A connection may break unexpectedly. At first, it feels painful. It feels lonely. It feels confusing. But later, you understand that certain people were not meant to walk with you into your next chapter. Yogananda emphasized that spiritual growth requires separating from energies that weaken the soul. God may remove toxic influences, manipulative individuals, or draining relationships to protect your heart and preserve your destiny. What feels like abandonment may actually be divine protection. Sometimes God protects you by removing those who would have harmed you in the long run. Sign 5. You feel deep peace even during difficult times. This is one of the most powerful signs of all. When God is protecting you, you may feel an unexplainable peace, even during chaos. Even when life feels uncertain, your heart remains calm. Even when challenges arise, your spirit feels guided. Even when fear appears, you feel a deeper sense of trust. This peace is not ignorance. It is not denial. It is divine reassurance. It is a silent message saying, you are not alone. You are being watched over. You are being protected. When God's presence surrounds you, your mind may feel steadier, your heart stronger, and your faith deeper. This inner peace acts as a spiritual shield against fear, anxiety, and despair. It reminds you that no matter what happens, you are guided, guarded, and protected. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that God's protection does not mean a life without challenges. It means a life guided through challenges without being destroyed by them. God does not remove every storm, but He often steers the ship away from disaster. Sometimes protection looks like blessings. Sometimes it looks like obstacles. Sometimes it looks like unanswered prayers. But often, it is the unseen hand saving you from paths that would have harmed your soul. If you feel that your life has been mysteriously guided, that harm has been avoided, and that unseen forces have intervened at critical moments, it may mean God has been protecting you all along. You may not always notice it. You may not always understand it, but divine protection is often active, even when invisible. Trust that delays may be divine timing. Trust that rejections may be divine redirection. Trust that endings may be divine rescue. Because sometimes the greatest miracles are the dangers you never had to face. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to Divya Antar for more divine wisdom, spiritual protection teachings, and soul awakening content. Comment below. God is protecting me. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs spiritual reassurance. And help us spread divine light across the world. Remember, even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it, God may be protecting you more than you ever imagined.